horrific violence after the vigil, after this horrific stabbing on Monday, which has left 3 young girls, 6 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old, dead, and a number of others still fighting for their lives in hospital, and 2 adults as well. Let's talk to Nusrit Methab, who's a former Scotland Yard Superintendent. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, just first of all on this, look, a vigil, people paying their respects, showing community solidarity, some amazing heroism from members of the public and indeed the police in tackling this hooded 17-year-old armed with a knife who attacked these children and adults at this Taylor Swift-themed holiday club. And then we have these horrible scenes of violence. Whose fault are they?
Well, I think, can I just say that it's just been the last 48 hours have been so traumatising, not only for the first responders, but for the community. And it was good to see the community coming together and healing and, you know, putting themselves back after this horrific. But they were re-traumatised in the last 48 hours. And this has gone viral. Who's responsible for it? Well, there's a number of elements, Julia, and I think you know as well as everybody else that there's been, social media is one of them, but it's also certain elected MPs and others, agitators, that have been fueling this for a number of weeks, you know, more than that, actually. I've seen it slowly having the drip, drip, drip effect. These individuals, let's not sugarcoat it. Merseyside Police issued a statement to say these are right-wing EDL supporters that were imported. They're not the people of Southport, because those people have got communities there and they were bonding together. These were imported for a non-legitimate agenda. They weren't there for the children that were murdered. They paid no empathy, nothing. They were there for their bigoted agenda.
I have to say, I can see in no way how you think you're helping things by breaking up someone's garden wall to throw bricks at the police. I mean, I just don't understand why anyone thinks that helps anything at all. But people, I think, are understandably, let's give it that one, understandably angry about the number of stabbings, the attacks, the violence that we are seeing, and often also two-tier policing. When you compare the policing, for instance, of Southport last night, compared with the policing of the Leeds riots, again, this month, I mean, for goodness sake, when you talk about these cases where police instantly, there's a horrific killing, and instantly we're told it's not terror-related, it's probably mental health. And we're constantly being told that, even when the suspect hasn't even been interviewed by the police. People are very wary. For a number of years, we've had, it's almost certainly, it's mental health, it's mental health. And again and again and again, there's been someone who's been on a terror watch list. Now, rumours have circulated madly online, even the name of somebody. Now, the police have said categorically, that is not the name of the person. They are not an asylum seeker. They all shouted Allahu Akbar when they arrived. People were there. There were witnesses still alive who heard that did not happen. I'm pointing out that, you know, these things are simply not true. This is a 17-year-old who was born in this country to, yes, Rwandan immigrant parents, but born in this country. So a lot of that is untrue. Attacks outside a mosque. I mean, even if this suspect was a Muslim, still totally inappropriate for people to mass outside a mosque. I mean, that is the definition of, you know, of treating everyone of one religion or one ethnicity or everything. You know, that's kind of, you know, ethno-racism, isn't it?
Look, let's be clear here of the facts that the police put it out, as you rightly said initially, that this person is born in Cardiff, is not terrorism. And why it's not terrorism, Julia, you're right. You're saying they haven't interviewed him, but they're working with counter-terrorism police. And there's a process. How it works is that counter-terrorism police are helping them. Don't forget, Merseyside has only 4,500 members of staff. It's a small force compared to the Met that has 45,000. So they're working really hard behind the scenes to get all the facts. Counter-terrorism work will be looking at all their databases, liaising with the security services to find out. And they were quickly able to do that actually it's not a terrorist incident. Yes, we all think it is because of the terror that was imposed, but there's a definition of terrorism, and that's the ideological aims, using violence to meet. In this case, it hasn't been proven from what the security services have said and what counter-terrorism police have said. Now, in terms of the fact that over and over again, that, you know, when somebody does something and they're non-white, if you like, it's a mental health. Well, here's the facts, and everybody should be aware of that there's 1.8 million people in our society today that are waiting for mental health assessments.
Yeah.
The services are not there. So yes, the government does have responsibility for that. We need to address that. 1 in 7 people, adults, suffer mental health.
But again, there's a difference, isn't there, between people who are suffering from depression or anxiety, or and people who are seriously mentally ill, whether it's schizophrenic or something, and could be a risk not just to others but to themselves as well. And we've seen again and again. I mean, look at the Nottingham stabbings June last year, when there was again the authorities, everyone knew that this man was a risk. Again and again, the information's out there. Now, we were discussing on the show yesterday whether someone's mad or bad or both, and to a certain extent, if you go and kill young girls at a dance, holiday club, you've got to be mad. I mean, killing complete innocent children for no reason is by definition madness, whether it's for whatever cause. But does it really matter? Because at the end of the day, if we can't protect youngsters, if people are now saying, right, don't leave the nurseries are now saying, don't leave the door up, when you go to collect your kid from nursery, don't say, oh yeah, I'll hold the door for you to someone else, unless you know them, because we've got to stop people from getting in. We are getting to a point where we're all going to be living in gated communities because we're terrified of the lunatics out there. Well, that's fine for some people who can protect themselves, but other people won't be able to. There is a feeling that the police have lost control of the streets, whether it's teenagers knifing each other on the streets of London, whether it's stabbings of a lieutenant clerk. Colonel outside of barracks in Kent, whether it's what happened in the streets of Leeds, whether it's what happened on the streets of Southport. I mean, Southend in Essex last night. Massive big machete-wielding youths running around on the streets, for goodness sake. People are looking at this going, what the hell happened to our country? Isn't that understandable?
I'm angry. I don't go outside and start to want to attack members of the community. I don't go and injure 39 officers. One has had his nose broken, concussion. Yeah. I don't go and burn vehicles. Muslim community are angry. They haven't turned around and stormed a church, just to show their anger. We're all angry. But here's the thing as well. There's one thing that's fueled it on social media, these conspiracy theories that have been leaning into it, and media as well, Julia, and I've got to call that out. Certainly there's been these from certain channels, one that I won't mention, and in fact, TalkTV, I still see it, that are still actually saying, well, hold on, there's something they're not telling us. Actually, a boy, a youth, a man, whatever you'd like to call him, the fact is he's under 18 and he's protected by law. There's clear guidelines. And, when it goes to court at the end of the trial, if the judge lifts that because it's in the public interest, the judge is responsible. Nobody's hiding anything and everything will unfold. Yeah. Let the process take its place. Let the professionals investigate. The fact that I'm disgusted that these first responders had to go in, firstly, and look at the scenes that they were dealt with, and then practically 24 hours later, come back on duty to deal with these thugs. It's unacceptable. This is, let's see what it is. This is violence against women and girls, which you're quite rightly said. There's an epidemic. It's a national crisis. We've had Yvette Cooper saying that only a few weeks ago. How many women have been killed? Knife crime hasn't been tackled. Need a holistic strategy, re-strategize on knife crime. Look at violence girls. This is nothing more to me than violence against women and girls, which we do not tackle in our society.
Okay. Nusrit, Methab, thank you very much for joining us, former Scotland Yard Superintendent. Appreciate that.